Hey, TalkCDL 2021, Ruth Ann. Yay.
Boop, 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 boop.
Boop, boop. And good riddance to the old guy, 2020.
He sucked.
He did suck. He was a bad dude.
He was.
I mean, seriously.
He's like the stinky, smelly guy that stands next to you in the line, and you just want to get away from him.
Yeah. You know, earlier you said that you didn't even think about it, that it was actually 2021.
Yeah, my brain didn't want to make that connection that...
We're 2 days into the year.
I know, but, you know, I guess because I've been busy and just totally consumed with life, I just really, honestly, didn't make that numerical connection of 2021.
We'll see what my thoughts were this, because they're mine. Anyways.
Thank gosh.
No, I was thinking, like, when the ball dropped and the countdown was, and we were making out, you know, bing, my kiss was so powerful, it knocked you into the future, and you didn't even know what year you were in. That was pretty cool, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that.
You just want to go with that? So, you know what? We got a lot to talk about today on TalkCDL. Real quick, let's mention our sponsors. 30 seconds. Rev Insurance.
Rev Insurance.
Rev Insurance, they're noted for getting people or trucking companies, truck drivers, owner-operators, better rates than they have. And, you know, the way I look at it is this. Test them out. 5-second phone call. And guess what? You'll know if they're going to beat what you got. I mean, call them up, say, hey, can you beat this or not?
Right. What's it going to hurt?
Absolutely. They go ahead and get all the other rates, and they find you the cheapest one. 800-347-5373. 800-347-5373. Check them out. You really are supposed to double check your insurance company anyways, because, you know, friends pay more. Wink, wink. JJ Keller, tell me about him real quick.
If you're wanting to do anything in the trucking industry with your own authority, they are the people that you would want on your side, because they will help you make sure that you have all the proper paperwork and compliant issues when it comes to them, so you are safe.
Yes, and if you're wanting to get your DOT and authority number, they will also help you do that. One last note I would say about JJ Keller, there's a lot of small companies that have reputations for getting bad audits because their paperwork's never done right or compliant. JJ Keller is one of those companies that for a couple bucks will monitor you and keep you in line so that you're good to go with DOT. 888-601-2017. That's 888-601-2017. Call JJ Keller. National carriers, great company, 400 and some trucks in Texas. They got regional runs, over-the-road runs, elite fleet. They take on teams, solos, lease drivers, you name it. Plus, they got them awesome KWs. Ruth Ann, 888-311-7076. If you're looking to change jobs and you want to go with a trucking company that doesn't touch freight, doesn't have broker freight, it's all their own freight. So they always got a lot of freight. You're in the freight business when you're a trucker.
Well, yeah, and because it is their own freight, what's nice about that is the fact that, you know, you're not going to stop.
Okay, moving on to the show. Here we are. So, TalkCDL 2021, but I wanted to mention a couple things that happened in 2020. And you had looked it up. The St. Louis truck driver that was driving for Fedex, he was in town during one of the riots.
He was charged with manslaughter.
See, this is the kind of stuff the truck drivers had to deal with in 2020. Riots everywhere, pandemics, masks, oh my. I mean, it was insane. So he was charged with what?
Manslaughter.
So the guy in St. Louis was charged with manslaughter? Or, yeah, obviously.
The FedEx guy.
So real quick, just so to remind everybody, we'll recap what happened with that driver. FedEx driver, he's in a town. There's riots going on. All of a sudden, he's just creeping along, trying to get out of town. He's going slow. People are running beside him. They start banging on his truck. The reason they were banging on his truck, allegedly, is there was a guy, which we have a video of it, and he was stuck between the wheels, the drive tires. Okay.
Yeah, we have to be nice about it and say he wasn't doing anything unlawful, climbing into a tractor.
And trying to steal something?
You know, that everybody was climbing up in the back of and pulling merchandise out of. He might not have been doing that.
Okay. You know, I was just giving you a compliment the other day saying how positive you are. You always look for the positive in things and you always come out with a smile. And there you are with negativity.
No, I'm not negative. I just call it like it is.
Okay, so let's be honest. So here he is. He's stuck between the drive tires. That now they start banging harder and they're trying to scream. Of course, his windows are up. And what did the truck driver do? He got what? Scared. He panicked.
I would have.
And he took off. Everybody would have. So the truck driver takes off. The cops catch up with him 50 miles later. Ultimately, the young man had died. He was, I think you said 29?
Yeah.
And you're saying he did get charged with manslaughter.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you know what? From what I understand, that truck driver did not know that there was somebody stuck between his wheels. I mean, what would you be thinking if people are just pounding on you? Pounding on your truck.
Well, I mean, right when all that was going on, I mean, if someone was pounding on my tractor right after, I mean, within weeks of all this other rioting,
Exactly.
and I'm gonna want to stay inside my tractor and stay safe and just get out of Dodge, as they would say.
Well, this all stemmed from the George Floyd. George Floyd was his name. He was the guy that had died, by the police up in Minneapolis, and it started riots all over the country. This is the year 2020. Everybody wants to forget it. There was just craziness all through the year, and so there you are. You're a truck driver, and riots are happening, and all of a sudden you come into St. Louis, and long behold, guess what's in front of you? A riot. Mm-hmm. What the hell do? You see all the videos. You know what scares people? The videos. You know that, right? Facebook's got the video watch. YouTube's got the videos. And guess what happens, Ruth Ann?
You're in trouble.
Well, no, people.
One way or the other, you're in trouble.
People get this big scenario in their head when they see all this stuff going on. And it's like, oh my gosh, if that happens to me, I'm going to punch it and I'm going to go. Well, guess what? Not many truck drivers came into that situation, but this guy did. We got the video sent to us. That went viral. He got pulled over 50 miles later. The young man had died. And now he's being charged with manslaughter. To be honest with you, didn't you say that you had just read something about there's a group of people that are funding four truckers that run a protester over or a rioter that was blocking or got in his way, that he should be found innocent or something?
It wasn't for truck driver. It was for anybody that was in a car. So as I was reading it, here it was saying anybody that they wanted to be able to shield and protect a driver that hits a protester. It was two Missouri law people were trying to get this law into effect that protects drivers, but it said cars. It didn't specify truckers, which I don't understand why they wouldn't make it trucker drivers also. So it didn't signify the differences between them. It just said cars then.
Well, I don't know if any rioters listen to TalkCDL. Really only cool people do, I think. But if you're a rioter and you can hear my words, if you arrogantly think you're going to walk out in front of vehicles and have them stop so you can destroy their vehicles and act like idiots. See, that's one of the things that people have seen over the years. They see the riots going on. They see what happens when you stop. I've seen tractor trailers lit on fire in outside of Atlanta the one year, or South Carolina. It's just insanity. So next thing you know, you get a guy that's scared. Right there, would you be scared?
Yes.
Well, that's what I'm saying. There was a girl down in Tampa that got scared because people were trying to, block her car. She gunned it and killed somebody. Mm-hmm. It's fear will make someone kill you. They won't mean to kill you, and a tractor trailer will make you like a little stain on the road. So my advice is, just because you arrogantly think you're going to stop a big rig from actually going down the highway, and there's probably plenty of truck drivers that have a cool head and are not afraid of the rioters, that would just stop and let you destroy their truck or whatever the case is, and still not have a lot of fear. But if you run into the truck driver that has fear, okay, you're gonna die, and you may have someone that you love get killed with you. So the bottom line is, think about that. You don't have the power to have everybody stop. Okay,
yeah.
With your body, it doesn't work that way.
No, it don't work out that way. You're you're not a superhero.
Right. In fact, you're a zero if you are protesting and
You're flattened sometimes too.
right. You know,
Zero.
yeah. I mean, my thing is, you want to protest? You want to protest police? Go to the police station. why go to NFL football games and cities and all that other stuff or whatever the hell wherever? Why protest and innocent people and burn innocent building? I mean, how many people in Minneapolis had their innocent business burned down? I mean, it's crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But anyways, speaking of Minneapolis, there was a truck driver incident in 2020 also where he got pulled onto a bridge and they accused him of trying to kill like crowds. They arrested him, then they dropped the charges, then they redid it. I don't know if it's the governor or the prosecutors pushing for this poor guy. They don't realize if he really wanted to kill somebody, you know, he stopped. I mean, the crowd didn't stop him. He stopped because of his conscience. And then they smashed the window in his tractor trailer, and they drug him out and beat him up, and then he got arrested. So you have any update on that, on the Minneapolis guy?
No.
I'd like to know what's going on with him, too. So the St. Louis guy was...
It doesn't make it easy because the St. Louis guy actually now, as I'm going through, it's...
He's been charged with manslaughter.
No, it's saying... Now I can't find where it's saying that he was charged with that. It's saying the pending now as of August.
So it's pending manslaughter?
Right. He's pending charges still.
Okay.
But that was in August. I can't find the article that I just seen that says something sooner. So maybe it was the other guy that was...
Well, no, the other guy wouldn't be charged with manslaughter because he didn't hit anybody or kill anybody. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So...
See, never mind.
All right. Well, anyway, so update. St. Louis guy wasn't charged. We don't know if he was charged.
Yeah, it's like 1 minute you see an article and the next minute I can't find it.
Okay. So anyway, so we're not falsely reporting anything. So we don't know. If anybody knows what happened to the St. Louis truck driver, and he was a FedEx driver, okay, if anybody knows what happened to that during the riots, please write in, tell us. And also the Minneapolis guy, the St. Louis guy and the Minneapolis guy. We'd like to know. But that was what 2020 did to everybody. Riots and pandemics and masks. Oh, my. It was just insanity.
Craziness.
It was. 2020, like you said, it just sucked. So anyways, we literally are... I think everybody that I talked to, I said, hey... Are you ready to get rid of 2020? Everybody. There wasn't one person that said, yeah, I had a great year.
Yeah, I don't know anybody that was happy.
I don't know one or two people. You were happy. You're always happy.
I'm always happy, but still I wasn't like, it still was all in all not the greatest of years.
I mean, like I said, a lot of trucking companies went out of business. It was like 1 to 2 million people in trucking were laid off. Mm-hmm. And believe it or not, still... There's a lot still not back to work. Oh,
yeah, definitely.
So, it just was a snowball effect when the COVID hit. Mm-hmm. The COVID just kind of just ruined everything. I mean, when Disney shuts down, you're having a bad year because, like, people come from all over the world to go there. Disney never shuts down. The only time in 20-some years of living in Florida that I ever seen Disney shut down before this was when Hurricane Charlie hit it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That was
when the hurricanes came in.
That was the only time I remember.
And there were forced evacuations.
Exactly. So let's move on. A couple stories. One coming out of Connecticut. A 19-year-old kid was crossing the road and was hit by a truck trailer. I mean, honestly and truly. He's alive, and we'll talk about what happened to him. Actually, let's just say this. There was a picture on CDL Life. It was showing like 1 million people around this truck trying to get... He was pinned under the tandems, under the back wheels, and they got him out, and from what I understand, he's alive. I don't know how he's doing, but, I got a couple questions over that right then.
Okay.
Number one, I mean... Think about this for a second. You're crossing the street. Yeah. The other day, I was pulling into a parking lot, and I was just pulling in, come around a corner, and a guy walked right in front of me. He never even looked up, as if he was saying, F you, I dare you to hit me. I just freaking dare, buddy. And he just walked right in front of me as if... You know what I mean? He does have the right of way. The pedestrian does have the right of way.
In Florida.
Well, especially if you're in a crosswalk. I get that. But, let's just say this. In St. Pete, right? They now have these yellow flashing lights. It's not red. It's a yellow flashing light that starts blinking really fast, letting you know that somebody's crossing the road. And everybody comes to a halt, and sometimes they don't. What I'm getting at is when you, and I don't know what happened with this 19-year-old kid, if he just arrogantly walked out in front of a tractor trailer, but I got to believe that if you look, what were we taught as little kids?
Look both ways.
Look both ways before you cross the road. But some people just think I'm in the crosswalk where I can get hit and I'm going to sue your ass. And you know what? They just walk.
Some of them, yeah, they're extremely arrogant. Others are just oblivious to everything around them. But you know,
that's true. People got headsets on and they're texting and walking.
Just oblivious. All
I'm saying is, do you know what the word prudent means? The word prudent means regard for the future. You know, you got to be at least a little aware that you're out where traffic is. And again, I'm not trying to hurt or blame the kid, you know what I mean? But at the same time, there was a part of you that walked out in front of the tractor trailer. You got to make sure that he's coming to a stop before you walk.
Well, it says here.
Oh, you looked it up?
Yeah, I had to because, I really needed to see this.
Well, go ahead. Let's hear it.
It says that the crews, the emergency crews spent 45 minutes rescuing the man who was conscious throughout the entire process. He sustained serious injuries to his neck and head as a result of the incident.
You think?
But the injuries were not considered to be life-threatening.
Okay. He received injuries to his head and neck.
But not life-threatening head and neck injuries.
Well,
the incident is still under investigation. It is not yet clear whether the truck or pedestrian had the right of way at the time of the incident.
I still say right away, schmite away. Okay? My body, just because I have the freaking right of way, I'm not walking out in front of a tractor trailer.
Hello?
In fact, I'm not walking out in front of a Tonka toy. I mean, seriously, they're dangerous little suckers.
Dorian will make sure.
No, but I'm serious. It boggles my mind to think like the rioters. You ever see people that walk right out in front of when they're rioting? I've watched videos where they walk out and people are like stopping because they don't want to kill somebody, right?
Right.
Well, when you walk out in front of a tractor trailer at the last second, is that suicide by truck maybe? Or are you just arrogantly saying, go ahead, hit me, make my day? Is that what you're saying?
It's stupidity because it's showing how ignorant you are, understanding how much it takes for a truck to stop.
And he's going to feel pain the rest of his life.
Oh, yeah. You smash your hands. When my hands smashed in Home Depot, I still have lots of pain, and it's like it creates arthritis and stuff like that. Permanent.
You mean the time that I dropped a 16-foot 4x4 on your finger?
Yeah. Sorry.
No, but seriously, that's true. That did happen. And you had to have the tip of your finger cut off, the bone.
The bone's permanently crushed.
Yeah. That was crazy. Well, not a big deal. So anyways, going back to this kid, and anybody that, obliviously...
It's a mouthful, isn't it?
Obliviously, just arrogantly walks out in front of cars thinking, I have the right of way. Bicyclers do it. I'm telling you, I've had it happen to me quite a bit where all of a sudden they don't even stop. I had an old man do that at a crosswalk the other day, and everybody had to stop for this guy. Mm-hmm. Of course they did. He never looked up.
Yeah.
Never looked up one time. It's almost like he's saying, end my life. That's it, I'm done. But anyways... Let's move on. I got one more thing I'd like to talk about.
Only one.
Now, listen to this. Now, this happened just the other day on Thursday. So, when was New Year's? What day was it? Was it Friday night or Thursday night?
Thursday night was New Year's Eve.
Okay, well, this happened on Thursday. So, New Year's
Eve.
This happened right before the new year. Mesa, Arizona. Okay? A person was killed, unfortunately. A tractor trailer driver, here I'll read it. Read what I wrote up. It says, one person was killed and 4 others were injured after a semi-truck crashed through a cement wall and plowed into a house in a Mesa, Arizona neighborhood. It happened around 7 o'clock on Thursday. Now listen to this. The trucker was coming east on U.S. Highway 60. He got off the Crimson Road exit, right? He come down the off-ramp and never stopped. Went right through, I guess, the stop sign And apparently, you ever driving around, you ever in a neighborhood or you're driving and you look at a house and you go, I'd hate to live there, man. It's at the end of a damn stop sign where somebody could just plow through and kill your family.
The turn, anything. Yeah.
I know. I mean, like a house that lives on the sharp turn. In fact, we know that one house over there off of Meadow or whatever it is. How many times did the guy tell us his fence got knocked down because a car came? They couldn't make the turn. They went right through his yard. Several times. The guy got sick and tired. I think he stuck up cement pillars, to teach people a lesson even. But here's a house at the end of an off-ramp. Here comes a tractor trailer. Failed to stop. Now listen to this. Witnesses said the sound of this thing was crazy loud. And they said it didn't stop because the truck went all the way through the house.
Oh my gosh.
Right. And guess what?
Huh.
It killed a 50-year-old man and injured 4. Now listen to this. There was 10 people in the house when this happened.
Wow.
10 people and only, I guess 5 got hit. Can you imagine being in your living room and all of a sudden crash? You got something, taking out the second floor and all coming through. I mean, honestly, that's insane.
Yeah, it doesn't give you enough time to get away or anything. It's all happening so fast. I mean, you're just like, what?
That's a nightmare. Just even thinking about it. So here's my thought. And by the way, the guy that died, his name respectfully was Todd Welliver. He was 50.
Probably the dad.
But here's my thought. To me, this is the first thing that comes to mind. What do you think happened? What do you think happened there? I mean, I'm thinking medical emergency on the trucker. The trucker was injured too. I mean, honestly, to just go right through this house. I mean, because here's my thoughts. Some people might go, oh, well, maybe he was texting and driving. Well, if he's coming down an off ramp, odds are he put his turn signal on. He's got his eye on the road. He's coming down the off ramp.
Right. Usually at that point they're paying attention.
Exactly. So I doubt he was texting and driving. I doubt he was distracted. I think something happened to where he maybe passed out. Maybe had a heart attack. Maybe something happened to where that truck driver couldn't stop. That's what it's to me. I would bank on that over everything.
Well, I would hope it'd be that, and not that he was whatever, sometimes people get confused on their brake and their gas. Sometimes that happens. But when you have...
It's called a fuel pedal, not a gas pedal.
No, I was talking about usually in a car, people get confused.
Yeah, I don't think the trucker got
Truckers generally can't get confused with that because there's so, you got your clutch, your brake, your fuel, you got too many thingies down there.
Well, some
automatic, and then,
Some of them have a clutch.
Right.
But so going back to this, would you not be in agreement with me that it most likely was some kind of a medical thing?
I'm thinking that it would be, yeah.
I mean, it almost sounds like it has to be to just fly through and go right through someone's yard into their house.
I would say this.
If I'm a trucker and I was distracted, when I looked up, I would steer away from the house. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But most likely, like I said, coming down the ramp, I'd say usually when you're coming off a ramp, I don't think he was texting. I don't think he was distracted.
I don't think that either. I mean, even if you look down to see if which way you're supposed to turn at the stop sign, if you're supposed to go left or right, you still, you usually know that before you get off. You know what I mean? And he's going into an area that's a residential area, so it might be an area that he was actually familiar with.
Well, think about this also. When you're coming down a ramp, what are you doing?
Slowing down.
Exactly. So in order for him to go through an entire house, it doesn't sound like he slowed down. Something happened to that truck driver coming down that ramp. Or maybe right when he come around to, get on the ramp, it happened. It just happened. And it's a tragedy. It truly is a tragedy. I was thinking, this is really why, seriously, the entire reason why DOT physicals. 100%.
Yeah.
It really is. I mean, I'll tell you a story. Back years ago, I worked with SMX, Smithway Motor Express. Mm-hmm. This was years ago. Mm-hmm. And I know the lady. Her name was Judy. Super nice lady. Mm-hmm. Some people would say no. Little tiny thing, mean as a pit bull, but really cool. I mean, I got along great with her. She was trying to hire a truck driver. And she ran his stuff and found out that the guy had a scar, so he had to tell her that he had a heart operation, right? It was like 5 years ago or 6 years ago when he had told her this. Well, she asked him for his test. When you have any kind of a heart operation in trucking, you have to, at least back then, you had to get a
like a stress test.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Exactly. That's exactly what you had to get, a stress test every year.
Mm-hmm.
I think they moved it now to 2 years. But this guy had never one time got a stress test. And it might have actually been 10 years before he applied with them. 5 to 10, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But he had never even followed up with his doctor, got the heart operation, got out of the hospital, and never looked back.
Bye-bye.
Exactly. See ya. But anyways, here he is now. Now, they were a compliant company. So when he went to apply, they said, you need to get some stress tests, and you need to go to your doctor and get all this stuff done. You know what he did? He hated his old company so bad that he was quitting them. He wasn't making money, blah, 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 right? He went back to them.
Yeah.
So he didn't have to do a stress test.
Isn't that sad?
Well, it's alarming. And so my advice to truck drivers, especially those that have had heart attacks or anything with heart, get your stress test. Guys that have sleep apnea, stay on it. And this is one of the reasons why, some drivers, you're supposed to get a 2-year medical card. Okay.
Supposed to. Your medical card's supposed to last 2 years.
Well, when you get so old, they only give you a 1 automatically. We know that. But you're supposed to get a 2-year. But when you only get a 6-month, and there's a lot of drivers. I seen a driver not long ago get a 90-day. It's like, what? A 90-day? When you'll know why trucking companies, they will really not want to hire you. The unhealthier you get,
the more of a risk you are.
Well, right here, look at this truck driver. Right through an exit, never stopped, and we both. To me, that's a medical issue.
Right.
You can't tell me the guy just thought he'd run through a house.
No.
I mean, he just right through. If he would have been going slow enough, he'd have never made it through the house.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is, the physical. You guys, there's a reason for these physicals. It's to help you stay fit. Truck drivers, and we've said this before, 80% of them have diabetes, high blood pressure.
Yeah, hypertension.
Yeah, high blood sugar, and, heart issues. And, what happens, this is what I keep telling truck drivers. A lot of truck drivers, they want to drive a truck, bump a dock, go to the truck stop and eat. That's really what a lot of them do. Mm-hmm. Now, flatbedders, different story. LTL drivers, less than truckload, these are guys that actually help unload.
Fingerprint it.
Yeah. I mean, you go in, you break down a pallet, you're always on the go. Okay. Well, I would tell you, if you don't have a job where you're allowed to help out a couple times a week, I forget how many times we're on a tractor trailer, just walking is a mile. It's like 20 sometimes, I think.
I can't remember
30,
now.
Like 32, 33 circles around a tractor trailer equals 1 mile.
Right.
If you're at a place where you don't know, your way around, walk around your truck 30 times and look it up. It's on the internet. It's got to be true.
Yeah, and there's a couple of drivers that do I see his videos. He does exercises at like the pumps and stuff, the fuel pumps. He does like little exercises, and he shows you different ways that you could stay fit in your tractor. Yeah.
Well, I would just say this. I know what it's like to have to drive 3,000 miles for the week, and each time you get to where you're going, you just want to crawl in the bunk and get some sleep. I know how that feels. But I'm telling you, if you just get out of your truck and force yourself, because not only the non-unloading or anything like that, tarping, whatever you're not doing, you're just bumping a dock. You're literally, I couldn't think of the word. It's the poor circulation from just sitting.
Right.
And I was trying not to burp into the mic. I don't know why, Mike. But bottom line is, it's sitting in that truck. And I'm telling you, I drove for many years. When I stopped driving, it was the weirdest thing. My legs, like if I drove 10, 15 hours, back then we drove more than our 10, okay? I literally, when I would come home after a couple weeks, it would take a day or two, okay, for my legs, they were starting to get swollen. Mm-hmm. I mean that. And it was like, that I can guarantee you the only thing that I could attribute it to is it was trucking, just sitting. Of course, even like when I would run around Pennsylvania, an hour here, an hour there, and I'd jump out and do the unloading and stuff like that in the the cold storage warehouses. Mm-hmm. Then everything was great.
Right.
But if I drove, if I would come from Chicago on a Saturday and it was like 700 and change miles, okay, we just run it right through. By the time I got home, my legs were starting to swell up. Uh-huh. So I'm just saying, guys, gals, it's important that your DOT physical you get the longest, what do you want to call it? The longest date. 2 years is great. That's what you shoot for. But, I know some of these guys have blood pressure and this and that, and they can only get a year, but a year is still respectable, I think.
Well, look at it this way. The more you move around, the more healthier that you can eat. Mm-hmm. You're gonna just survive longer, period. You know what I mean? It's just, you're out there driving all the time. You want to be able to contribute all that time you spend on the road, being able to retire or at least enjoy some time at home before you pass on.
Yeah.
You don't want to have your whole life being nothing but sitting in that seat and getting extremely unhealthy. You got to move around a little bit.
Yeah. Just remember our friend Bob. He was 38. Dude was in shape, right? And one day he was just driving down the road and died. Had a little aneurysm. Okay. All I'm saying is, if you're a truck driver and you think you feel healthy, you don't know. You just don't know. No,
you don't know. But most of the time,
you have a better chance of surviving if you're getting longer DOT physicals.
Right. If you're at least seeing the doctor, you're getting that physical, you're getting the checkup.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to stop whining about nobody likes to hear take care of yourself, but I'm telling you guys, take care of yourselves, because did you just see what happened in Mesa? I guarantee you that was a medical problem.
Start 2021 out on a better foot.
Yeah. So
one that's not swollen.
So we're coming to the end of our first podcast of the year, 2021. Do you have a word, the first word of the year?
I do. I actually got a couple of cool words, but I'm going to start with this one.
You're going to do more than one?
Well, I mean, I guess I don't have to.
Good.
Wow.
Let's hear it.
Gewgaw.
Gewgaw. Let me pull it up this way.
Gewgaw.
Gewgaw.
Spell it.
Gewgaw.
Gewgaw? Sounds like some baby would say.
Gewgaw. Gewgaw.
Gewgaw?
Gewgaw.
Okay, what does gewgaw mean?
A showy thing, especially one that is useless or worthless.
Something that puts on a show and is worthless.
No.
You said a showy thing.
It doesn't put the show on. It's just,
Just something that really has no worth. It's just there.
It's Grandpa's collection of gewgaws clashes with Grandma's elegant taste.
Interesting.
She bought a gewgaw whenever she went to the thrift store.
I think we're going to wrap this up right then. I want to say, for real, Happy New Year. I want everybody to, get through this year driving. For all you truck drivers that are retiring, good job, good job, good job. And all you guys that send us pictures and videos, keep it up. We appreciate you guys. And we'll always try to give you guys a shout out. Right then. We got anything else? Want to move on?
Be safe out there. Let's start 2021 out with a safe and healthier year.
Awesome. We're out of here.
Peace.
Peace. Praise the Lord.